All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. So today we would like to do our final exam for extensive reading. So we have three persons here to do a podcast. But before that, we'd like to introduce ourselves first. The first one start with Vigo, please.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Vigo DiCaprio. My student number 021. Welcome to our podcast where we'll be discussing the novel Hope and Other Fox Lines by Julia Bookbaum. This gripping and poignant book takes us on a journey through time and explores the complex themes of trauma, healing, and the power of storytelling. Okay, next, the narrator is discussing Julia Buxbaum's book, which they have read a handful of times. The narrator, which writing 911 series of their own. And this book is the only fiction novel that they have found anywhere near where they are training to do. The narrator is entirely disappointed with the book, as the in did not text 911. The why wanted is two, but they were able to remember why they were disappointed. The narrator is happy to say that they were not disappointed this time around, and they loving reading books because of the things they forget. The most important detail is the text are the two main characters, and Noah and Abby, who are both famous for their present having working at the World Trade Center. Is determined to learn to trust being his father. His parents will Abby is trying to embrace her life and live baby half beings. Noah is determined to learn the truth being his father is French. While Abby is trying to embrace her life and live be baby half beings. Noah is trying to learn the truth being and his father is friends. While Abby is trying to ever live and live be baby half beings. Noah is trying to learn through being his father is friend. While Abby is trying to live baby half being. Noah insisted that his aunt stupid and leave him, but he doesn't like guys in the meaning head. Why he is working for the safe cam Abby and blackmails her into helping him. There is the supporting because the interview relevant more about the idea is the extreme and Noah only brings of the man in Michigan. Abby doesn't seem to bring some page in enjoy to them, and Noah start to cheer here and the good that she doesn't for other. However, they end up developing feelings for her. Okay.
Vigo, I want to before that I want to introduction myself. My name is Nikus Putra, and I want to ask you what are some of the themes explored in Julie Buxburn novel, right? Hope and other punchline, and how does the author approach of the topic in the book?
Okay. The answer is Nito. How and Other Folks Land is a young adult novel written by Julia Bookworms that explores them is grieving identity, forget hints, and hope the book into timelines. 201 and the 219 in the 201 timeline. The book follows the story of Abby Hope Goldstein, a tender one become known as Baby Hope after she was photographed being held by a preventor in the aftermath of the 9 or 11 attacks. In the 2009 timeline, the book follows the story of 16 years old Abby, who is the trying to figure out cause disease and how suffers in the world. The another approach to topic of 9 or 11 in an incentive and thoughtful way, appropriate in the impact of the attack on the people who live across the sea, acknowledge the tragedy of the event, but also focus on the hope and resilience the emerged in the aftermath. Bookworm show how the event affect people differently and how the Israel is lived and different ways also explore to role that in the media play in shaping public the perception of the event and the people affected by it. This book is the not traditional and or 11 novel, but rather a story about the people while live through the event and how it affected them. It is a powerful expression of greater intelligence and hope that will resonate with already of all eggs. Okay, next the in the podcast. Noah and Abby are spending the time together, with Abby enjoying where is the Noah company the dad expense that had his friends Jack give her. Not admits the thing that she's active, but the formation of terror relationship happen in little suddenly because he got a problem with her blackmailer and suggesting that to her not really caring about the anymore. Noah is there because he been about extremely self, and he come home in the ghost of on his mom, saying she'll eat him. The storyline should have the been done differently, has the even play on and the character interact about it. The most important detail is this take are that the narrator has been under assumption expectation that the narrator father has left his life there and that he has saved five people, including a forget woman. The narrator acknowledge the good of that the father did and that three are people around and will be through which the father sanctioned, but also acknowledge that the Islamic whole have been different. When the father certifies the narrator, Allah acknowledge the Cyrillic works have been different without the father's sacrifice. The most important detail is the take are that Abi best friend can has in being tumor on her lung and is that hospital Abi prison have to clown when it's going on in her, but is the watching TV. And the news ensure is the interviewing her and the seat head up uploading and almost getting the information that she wholly to be friend with Abi again. That is great juxtaposition had horse yet after setting back at the Abi instead and how carting the to make her friends best friend best friend cat. Abi present have the clue where is going to hear happens in watching the movie, watching TV and the news actor in interviewing and the hint of the pleasing and almost getting the info that she would like to be friends with Abi again. Abi and Fia drifting apart, but Abi basket on and lead about the being oblivious to something leading to drifting apart.
All right. Before I ask you a question, so my name is Akram Mojihan, and I'd like to ask you what are some of the main criticism of the relationships development between the characters Abby and Noah, if I'm not mistaken, in the book, and how could it have been done differently?
Okay, Akram, so answer the question. That question asks for the main critics of the relationship development between Abi and Noah in the book and how it could have been done. Differently, the main traits of talent relative development include the suddenness of the romantic feeling, Abi quick expenses of Noah, correction and the lack of depth in covering Abi backstory within childhood best friend. The reviews suggest that Abi leaking of Noah could have been against her evil or better judgment and that the development of the relationship could have been more notched. The review does affirm that fact that the character acknowledge the good that Abby baby hop person does for other. Okay, back to podcast more. The most important detail is the text are that Abby discovered a lead from her best friend Noah on social media and that they get together in through tenor where there is a lot of miscommunication and it's fun to watch the bargaining of the relationship. Noah is all about comedy. So has them watch Hulk and Kumar go with a punchline story. Abi perspective is also important as to help to explain when Noah friend talking priest over Abby. Noah perspective is also important. Is either help explain why Noah friends are talking priest over Abby. The most important details in this take are that Noah and Abby go to Wesley to watch a comedy move. But Noah in Abs and Abby wrestle to just be friend with him, not come to peace. Abby and one point that says it doesn't want be just friend that is give page lack of drama in mind in many respect. In the book, Astri is signifies like of drama in many space. Noah's best friend is also absent and Abby resolves to just be best friend with him. Noah's best friend is also of an Abby resolves to just friend with him.
Vigo, what was the protagonist Abby's she's biggest insecurity, and how did it affect her friendship with the cat?
Okay, after reviewing that above, in the same the main issue between Abby and Kat that caused the friendship to fall apart was really that Kat to Abby and Kat were confident to do something together, but Kat backed out and lied about not being able to do it. Abby discovered the lead through social media and she felt that Kat did not want to be her friend anymore. Well, Abby wished for more trust and understanding about the situation. Three was no facial communication or recognition between the two friends. Quebec, Noah is based in the also offset in Abby, resolved to just friend with him. The more important detail in this text are that the narrator of the audio is not hook fun of the female who the narrator does a good job. The narrator and means of Lee Rodriguez and the one of the voice is young. The narrator is good job and but sit and recommend the audiobook for in the Ishop and other functions. However, if the narrator is the first cause and of narrator and narrator is not first cause of the narrator doesn't is go out but said and recommend the audio for this of the author functions. With strong there is a well kept thought and the resonant character of and other plot lines is almost relevant for anyone inside the in the according the complexities of human expression. Join us we at the bring in working novel and discussing in many exit. Okay, thank you for listening my podcast. Back to Akram Wajihan.
All right. It's really good novel that you read. Is it right that the novel entitled Hope and Other Punchlines by Julie Buxbaum? Is that right? It's your book, right? All right. So it's really great that we can hear your podcast here. And for the next one, I'd like to tell you about my novel that I have read. The novel entitled Kimi no Nawa, or we can say it in English as Your Name by Makoto Shinkai. So Kimi no Nawa is a 2016 anime film directed by Makoto Shinkai. The film tells the story of two teenagers named Taki and Mitsuha, who inexplicably find themselves switching bodies at random intervals. As they start to learn more about each other's lives, they become determined to meet in person, leading to a series of unexpected and sometimes devastating events. For the plot, the story of Kimi no Nawa is set in two different locations, Tokyo and Itomori, a small town in the mountains of Japan. The two protagonists, Taki and Mitsuha, are initially strangers to each other, but they start experiencing a strange phenomenon where they suddenly switch bodies with each other at random intervals. At first, they are both confused as disoriented by the experience, but they gradually start to communicate with each other by leaving messages on their phones and writing notes. They learn more about each other's lives, personalities, and as a result, they start to become emotionally attached to each other. However, as they try to figure out the reason behind their body swapping, they discover that they are separated by time and space. Taki lives in Tokyo, while Mitsuha lives in Itomori, which was destroyed by a meteorite 3 years prior to the events of the story. Taki and Mitsuha's attempts to meet each other in person are complicated by the fact that they can only switch bodies at random intervals, and they don't know how to control the phenomenon. Eventually, they manage to arrange a meeting, but their efforts are disrupted by a catastrophic event that puts their lives in danger. And the next one for terms, Kimurawa explores several terms, including the relationships between past and present, the meaning of home, and the nature of identify. One of the central terms of the film is the idea that our lives are shaped by the people and events that came before us, and that our actions can have a profound impact on those who come after us. Another important term is the search for identity and belonging. Both Taki and Mitsuha are struggling to find their place in the world, and their experiences of switching bodies with each other force them to confront their own insecurities and fears. The film also explores the idea of cultural identity, with Mitsuha struggling to balance her traditional upbringing with her desire for a more cosmopolitan life in Tokyo. And the next one for style and animation. So Makoto Shinkai is known for his stunning visual style. Though it is adapted from the manga and it's being adapted to be a film, and Kimi no Nawa is no exceptions. The film features gorgeous animation and breathtaking landscapes, from the bustling streets of Tokyo of the to the tranquil beauty of the Itomori countryside. The attention to detail is very impressive, with every frame packed with intricate textures and lighting effects. The film's music is also noteworthy, with score noteworthy with a score by composer Red Williams that perfectly captures the film's emotional high and lows. The film's theme songs Zen Zen Zens has become a hit in Japan and is now synonymous with the film. At the end, conclusion, Kimi no Nawa is a beautiful and emotionally resonant film, a novel that explores complex themes in a visually stunning way. Makoto Shinkai's skills as a storyteller and animator is on full display here. With a plot that is both engaging and thought-provoking and animation that is breathtakingly beautiful, the film has become a global phenomenon, winning numerous awards and captivating audiences around the world.
Okay, my name is Vigo DiCaprio. I will asking you about Singapore podcast. What inspires Makoto Shinkai to cartoon Kimi no Nawa?
All right, so that's quite weird, yeah. So Kimi no Nawa, Makoto Shinkai has stated that the inspiration for Kimi no Nawa came from his own experiences of living in different parts of Japan and feeling disconnected from his hometown. He wanted to explore the idea of two people who are separated by distance and time and how they can form a deep emotional connection despite their differences. That's the answer.
Akramu,
Mhm.
and how did the body swapping phenomenon in the film impact Taki and Mitsuha character development?
So this is quite interesting. So the body swapping phenomenon in the film allowed Taki and Mitsuha to experience each other's lives firsthand and gain a deeper understanding of each other's perspectives. As a result, they were able to confront their own insecurities and grow as individuals. As a result, Taki became more empathic and considerate, while Mitsuha became more confident and self-assured.
Wait, from one more.
Oh,
What
all right.
character name is Ekron in Kimonowa?
So Kimi no Nawa explores several cultural terms, including the tension
What
between
counter team?
yeah, I mean, like including the tension between traditional and modern ways of life in Japan, the importance of family and community, and the role of fate and destiny in shaping our lives. The film also highlight the beauty of Japan's natural landscapes and the importance of preserving traditional cultural practice in the face of modernizations. Is there anything else?
Okay, yes.
All right. So I think that's all for my novel entitled Kimi no Nawa by Makoto Shinkai. Let's take me. All right. So we are back again here after the break time. Let's continue the podcast. How about Nito?
Okay. Uh, I want to introduce myself again before I tell my story. So my name is Nita Septemputra, and now I will bring the novel The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. So Ernest Hemingway was an American writer born on July the 21st, 1899 in Oak Park, Illinois. Illinois. He is considered one of the most influential writers on the 20th century, known for his economical and straightforward writing style. Hemingway began his writing career as a journalist for the Kansas City Star in 1917. He then served as an ambulance driver during World War I and was wounded in Italy. After the war, he returned to the United States and worked as a journalist in Chicago and Toronto. In the 1920s, Hemingway moved to Paris, where he became part of the literary and artistic community known as the Lost Generation. He published his first novel, The Sun Also Rises, in 1926, which established him as a major literature figure. And I am making a plot summary, three plot summary. The first is an unlucky boat, and the second is the truly big fish, and the last one is destroyed but not defeated. So the first plot is an unlucky boat. The Old Man and the Sea tells the story of Santiago, an aging Cuban fisherman who alone in his small boat faced the most difficult fights of his life against an enormous marlin. At the beginning of the short novel, Santiago has lost his fisherman luck. He has gone 84 days without catching a marketable fish. Even his closest friend, a village boy he took to fish, has left him to work on another boat. The local fishermen make fun of Santiago or feel sorry for him, but he himself remained hopeful and undefeated. Every day he rises early, prepare his skiff, and rows far out into the Gulf Stream in search of marlin. And the second plot is the truly big fish. And this plot is some morning, the old man sets out for the far reaches of the fishing grounds. He watched for flying fish or other signs of bait that might signal the presence of larger fish. Soon he catch a small albacore and using it for bait, hooks hooks something very large. He pulls as hard as he can on the line. Santiago cannot move the great weight on the other end. The big fish refuses to surface and begins to swim out the sea, throwing the skiff behind him. And fish surface just long enough for Santiago to see him. The saying of the great marlin to feed longer than the skiff inspired the old man. The match began on a Sunday morning and lasted the entire night. And the old man realized that he needs to sleep. He wraps the line around his shoulder and crams his boat against in it. Then he sleeps. And the marlin began to circle the boat, and Santiago knows he has won. After several turns, the fish pulls closer, brushing the sides of the boat, and the old man, seeing his change, drive his harpoon into its side of the boat, and the old man, and with a final struggle that sends spray over the entire skiff, the fish dies, and its dark blood staining the blue water. And the last plot is after about an hour of smoothing sailing, however, his luck runs out. A shark following the trail of blood left by the huge fish bites into the body, taking a large piece of flesh, and by the time the skiff reached the village, the exhausted Santiago returns to his shack and falls asleep.
All right. After listening to your story about the novel, I have a question for you. What is Santiago? Is it right? So, what is Santiago personality?
Santiago personality. Okay. Santiago is the protagonist of the Old Man and the Sea. So it's a complex character with many different personality. I have some of personality. The first one is determination. So Santiago is extremely determined and refuses to give up, even when faced with overwhelming odds. This is evident in his decision to go out to sea alone despite his advanced age and lack of recent success in fishing. And the second is perseverance. Santiago is also incredibly persistent and refuses to be defeated, even when things seem hopeless. This is he continues to fight the marlin for 3 days, despite being exhausted, hungry, and injured. And the third one is courage. Santiago is a brave and unafraid of danger. And the fourth is humility. Despite his many accomplishments as a fisherman, Santiago remains humble and does not seek recognition or praise for his success. And the last one is spiritual. So Santiago is deeply spiritual and believes in the power of nature and the interconnectedness of all things. He shows respect for the marlin he catch and feels a sense of oneness with the sea and the creature that inhabit it. Overall, Santiago is a complex character with a range of personality traits that make him a compelling and memorable protagonist.
Okay, Nito. I ask you about your podcast. What is the role of the boy Monolion in the novel? And how doesn't his relationship with Santiago contributes to the story themes?
Story times. Okay. So Manolin, the young boy apprentice of Santiago, plays a significant role in the novel as a symbol of the passing of tradition and the connection between generations. Manolin admires and respects Santiago as a master fisherman, and the two have a close relationship built on mutual trust and affection. Manolin's willingness to disobey his parents and continue to help Santiago. Uh, respect, and the two have shows the power of loyalty and strength of the human spirit and the face of adversity. The relationship between Santiago and Manolin also emphasize the importance of community and humans connection. Even in the race of isolation and individual struggle, the relationship serves as a reminder that while we may face challenges and hardship as individuals, we are never truly alone and are strengthened by the bonds we form with others.
All right, so I have the last question for you. How does what is it? Hemingway use symbolism in The Old Man and the Sea to convey deeper meaning.
So Hemingway employs a variety of symbols in the novel to convey themes and ideas beyond the literal events of the story. For example, the sea itself serves as a powerful symbol of the cyclical cyclical nature of life and the idea that all things are connected. And the shark that attacked the marlin symbolize the destructive force of nature and the fragility of even the strongest creature. The boy Manolin represent the passing of tradition and enduring the power of human relationship. And the old man, wounds and physical pain serve as a symbol of the toll that age and experience can take on the human body and spirit. Through the use of the symbol, Hemingway is able to explore complex themes such as relationship between man and nature, the inevitability of aging and decline, and the importance of community and connection. And I think that's all of the story, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest.
All right, so overall, we have our own novel that we can read. Why would we like to read it? That's a clear explanation from us. That we have right now. We have reached our ends of our podcast here. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This is our end. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you guys and happy watching. I hope you guys watch it till the end.